Go ahead and pick this wall right here. As you can see, it is red. Right here, we're going to go ahead and go to Control Tab, hit Control Tab again, and as you can see, we are looking at a side view. I don't know if these are correct, but this is just what I do for a window. I go 2 boxes down, and if you don't know what I just did right there, and you're a complete noob to Radiant, all I did is I held down Control and right clicked, and I made a point 1 and a point 2. As you can see, it cut our wall where I put that line. What we want to do is we want to keep both sides of the wall, so we're going to hit Shift and Enter. As you can see, there are 2 separate walls now. Now what we're going to want to go and do is let's make the center right here. I'm gonna make 2 more. Oh, you always want to make sure you're selecting your wall while you're doing this. Okay, and we want to do Control, right click, and I always start like how you can see on this line that my mouse is on. I always start on that, and I go to the next line and 2 boxes over for my width. And I want to let me go ahead and make our zombie spawn. I always kind of use this to give me an example of where we are. Oh no, I want zombie. So, oh, sorry, what I'm doing is I'm right clicking, going to Actor, Access, Zombie, German, whatever that is, I don't know. So there we go, we have our little model right there. There's our zombie. Let's make sure he's not in the ground. He is. Drag him up. And we want to go ahead and select our wall. Again, where is it? Kind of lost where it is. Oh, it's over there. So now what we're going to go and do is go back to our side view. Here we go, we have our guy. We're going to want to have it usually around his hips, okay? So I'm going to put it actually 1 up because we're spawning him above the ground. And he's going to go down to gravity, so it will be... actually, no, sorry. I messed up, so I'm going to hit Control Z to undo it. And I'm actually going to go right here, Shift Enter. Let's just see how that looks. That looks fine. So there we go, we have our window. If you saw what I did, all I did is I just cut it from the side, the front, the side again, and all I did is I selected the middle box and just deleted it. And what we're going to go and want to do is just select these little edges right here and make them back to concrete. Now you're probably going to want to have an opposite texture than what you're having in the middle of your map, like in the ground of your wall. Okay, sorry guys, my phone was ringing and I wasn't really making sense in how I was talking. So let me go ahead and go back to what I was talking about. What I was talking about is how you might want grass out here, and you might want this to be concrete. You want to have like different textures in your map. So you want to go ahead, and we're going to use that same little cutting tool that I just used on the window, the Control Tab thing. Oh, sorry, I just burped. So you want to go ahead and select our ground or whatever brush you are wanting to cut. And we're going to zoom in. We're going to hit Control, right click, Shift Enter. As you can see, we just cut our little ground along the wall. Let's do that again. And this is easier, again, because I made this all even and perfect, all mathematical. This makes it a little easier to draw, and again, what I think makes the CPU work harder and gives the map a better flow. So we are almost done. So now we have our little map cut off. Let's go and select our outside little brushes. So as you can see, they're all selected out here. Let's find a little grass texture. Texture, usage, ground. Oh, we're already on that. Let's find a good, let's do sand. Might as well, let's pick sand. So there we go, we have sand outside our map. Now let's say you want to have a different texture from the outside of your wall to your inside of the wall. Now if you want to select the face of a brush, for example, I'm going to hold down Control and Shift, left click. Now as you can see, it selected the front face of our texture and nothing else. So I can change this to whatever texture I want. The front is that and the back is not. So let's go ahead and do that. For the outside, let's select all of our outside brushes. Now you're going to need to do this in your 3D view. Let's go ahead and select all of these. Again, all I'm doing is Control, Shift, and left clicking the side of the brush that we want. Making sure we have everything selected. And there we go, we have everything selected. Let's do our textures, usage, exterior wall. Let's kind of pick, how about that? That looks kind of cool for the outside. So there we go, not really, oh, let's do that too. Not really for flow, like this, usually you wouldn't want a map to be that and concrete, but whatever, that's what we want it to have. Now let's go ahead and select our ground. Let's kind of make that a little better. Go to usage, floor instead of ground, and let's do how about some concrete tile. There you go, that looks a little better, I guess. So there we go, we have our window. Let's go and drag our little zombie dude. Let's get him right here. And he is probably in the ground. Where is he? Where's our guy? Oh, probably on the wrong side. Oh, right here. There's our zombie. Let's have him over here. Now, a word of advice to you guys. When you're making a map and you have your window here, don't have the zombie right at the window, because it just looks kind of cheesy if the zombie, you can see him spawn out of nowhere. So you just kind of have him kind of back here. Let's do, we're going to hold down Shift and D. D is for direction. As you can see, we have our little arrow pointing towards that wall. And we're going to want to place our node, our path node. Usually you want these 128 units apart. I really don't want to count those, so I just kind of go off what I think it should be. So I just kind of do like this. Like just whatever I think will work. We just kind of want our path leading to our window over here. Let's kind of make him a little closer to our path node. So there you go. Now you can have these as close as you want, you just don't want them to be touching. It's just, I heard sometimes you get zombie errors if they're really close together and they're not, again, mathematical like I say it should be. So we're going to want to go ahead and add our little barrier to our window. So let's go to, we're going to right click in our 2D view again, MISC prefab. Now I forget where this is. Placing boards, okay. We want to go to MISC prefab zombie mode window med. There, oh, sorry. I knew it was in zombie mode. Window med, there it is. So as you can see, we have our little window. We want to do Shift D again, so it's facing inside, and we want it, we don't want it directly on the wall like it is right now. We want it to kind of be off-centered a little bit. So we're going to go to grid 2, kind of move this backwards a little bit. So it's not directly on it, but actually, let's go to grid 1. This needs to be a little, there, right there. That looks good. It is covering all of it. That's a good size window. You need this, you just can't have zombies hopping over